Okay, so if you've been with me this month, week one was about the story, about not knowing what I want for dinner, for my life, for any of it. Week two, we got into the framework side of things, why self-trust eroded in the first place. We worked through the story versus truth process. That's linked below in the description again if you want it. This week, we get practical, like actual practicalities, tangibles. We're talking about the body, baby. Let's go. I'm sitting outside and it's a little drip drop, so let's see what happens. But I'm Vicky here at Victoria's Coaching Podcast. We're doing a 6-month coaching journey. We're in month 2, week 3. Let's get it. If you want the start, it's linked below. Before we get into the practice itself, though, I just want to make a little note. When people hear the word somatic, they either lean in or check out. And if you've never been on the receiving end of just breathe or tune in, advice that felt like completely inaccessible, I would understand the skepticism. Definitely been there. A body riddled with late diagnoses thanks to long-term emotional repression will be glad to tell you what's what. So totally with you. However, for a lot of us late diagnosed women, the body is not a clear signal. Or rather, it is, but we've spent years overriding that clarity. Pushing through, masking, performing, accommodating, pleasing, acquiescing, all the ings. And at some point, the body just adjusted. Instead of whispering, instead of talking, this became the norm. So what we're talking about here is not about flipping a switch. It is about relearning a language that your body has always been speaking, one that you simply got out of the habit of listening to. No biggie. We can return. I know. So a somatic yes and a somatic no are physical sensations that correspond to alignment or misalignment with something. When something is right for you, your body signals it one way. When it's not, it signals another way. So here's what I want to push back on that you'll see in wellness spaces is this idea that a yes always feels expansive and a no always feels like contracting. That your gut clenches when something's off and your chest opens when it's right. That may certainly be true for some people, but not all. For others, a yes is a quiet settling, a stillness, warmth in the hands, a breath that comes a little easier, a release of trapped air, like you guessed it, a little burpee poo, a little fart. Honestly, I'm not kidding. And a no might be flatness, a slight resistance in the throat, a restlessness that starts in the legs and wants to go somewhere, a fluttering in the chest or belly that's alarming, right? Not exciting. There's no universal body dictionary, sorry. Your job is to figure out what your body specifically does, not what it is supposed to do. Also, not when we're trying to make it do something. The way that you start is with what I call a calibration question. It's a commonly known technique. I did not create this. You ask your body something you already know the answer to. This is important because you're not going straight for the big stuff. You're cross-referencing. Something like, is it morning right now? Do I like olives? Is my name Vicky? Am I in a relationship? Pick something with a clear, already decided, no drama answer. A strong yes or a strong no. Take a breath, ask internally, and notice. No analysis. Just notice where your attention is landing, if anything shifts even slightly in the entirety of the body. Do this with a yes or a no first, and then compare and contrast. You might feel nothing the first few times. That's not failure. It's just where you're starting. Your body is not used to being consulted. Give it a minute or a week of practice, actually. And let's be 100. The thing that trips ADHD women especially up most with this kind of practice is distinguishing between anxiety and intuition. And it's true. They can feel very similar enough to genuinely confuse, especially if anxiety has been a baseline forever. Here's what I've noticed for myself and what I see in clients, if helpful. Anxiety spirals. It's loud. It's future focused. It wants to run every terrible scenario out to the end. It lives in the head. It has a what if energy, and it wants me to act right now. It instills urgency. Intuition tends to be quieter, more present tense. It shows up without a story attached to it. It's not trying to convince me of anything. It's just they're reporting data. It's also not urgent. The question that I find most useful is there a story running with this feeling? Is my radio station on? And intuition can have a story some of the time, but often it doesn't bother. The distinction is not airtight. Of course, anxiety will absolutely borrow the body's signals and try to pass them off as wisdom. But noticing whether there's a spiral attached is a decent place to start in sorting the two, right? Another note is that anxiety comes up as a protective mechanism, when some part of you feels under threat. Whereas intuition believes fully in your capacity to handle anything, therefore nothing to protect, because the threat can be dissipated from your higher self-perception, right? I think the reason that this matters for self-trust specifically is pretty direct, but I'll reiterate regardless. If you can't tell the difference between your fear and your knowing, you will stop trusting your internal data altogether, your data knowing. You'll start polling other people. You wait to see how the room feels before you decide how you feel. You seek external validation. You check in with everybody outside of the group text. You lead a lot of sentences with, I don't know, but, or I guess I feel. And this loop is inevitably exhausting because it takes a massive amount of mental energy to maintain. Let's be real. Learning your body's language is not soft work. It is the foundation under every decision you'll ever make about your own life and those that it touches. Okay? My body was talking to me, from the start for a long time before I understood what the hell was going on. The PCOS, as you all know, the mast cell activation syndrome, the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, the gut imbalance, the inability to conceive so far. None of that showed up overnight. They have been signals for years. I simply wasn't fluent enough yet to receive them. I was too busy overriding them to hear them, putting band-aids on them. It's not criticism of past me. It's simply what happens when you've spent a lifetime being told that your read on things is off. I stop consulting the source, me. So, your practice for this week, once a day, pick one low stakes question or decision. Not, should I leave my job? Something like, do I want coffee or tea? Do I feel like walking today or not? Do I want to call someone back tonight or wait till tomorrow? Is my name Vicky? Pause, a breath. Ask your body instead of your brain. Simply notice what comes up. We measure in the noticings. Do not override anything. Then follow that thought, that body movement, even if it's small, especially if it's small. The asking, receiving, and following through is the rep. That's what builds the track record. Your body starts to notice that you're actually listening, and it starts speaking more clearly. You're not practicing this at the level of big decisions yet. You're building the muscle somewhere that the stakes are low enough that you can actually hear yourself. If this episode resonated, send it to someone who needs it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. What's the problem? I'm just kidding. But I'm not. We'll get into our final week of this month already, which, what is time? But let us not go there. Okay. Talk soon.